All right, I think we are live. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good. All right, so guys, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our live training today. Welcome, welcome everyone. Let me know that you're here, real estate revolutionaries. We are jumping into 2024. It's the end of January, guys. Where has January gone? We're jumping into 2024 to navigate what I'm calling a game changer and a life changer. And that is having that plan B strategy to breathe life back into your short term rental business or short term rental strategy altogether. So if you're here with me, let me know. I want to see, let's see, I've got another monitor I'm looking at, guys. No worries. I just want to make sure that you can hear me, that I am loud and clear just so that we can go ahead and dive right in. So let's see who's here. Okay, I'm gonna pull up my chat. There we go. I feel like a chicken. Oh, there we go. I'm recording. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, welcome to our live training, everyone. Let me know that you're here. Say hello in the chat. If you're catching us on the web browser with our luxury short-term rental doctor show, I don't expect you to have a chat. But if you are in the Facebook group, I want to see you dive in. Let me know that you can hear me loud and clear. And I cannot wait to share with you. So I'm going to wait a second and ensure that I can be heard and I am live before I start. I start diving. Yeah, I'm on. I'm being told that I am heard loud and clear. So welcome everyone. So today I wanted to speak with you all about something extremely important. Okay. So a lot of you have been sliding into my DMs asking questions about the short-term rental strategy, how to get started. Some of you are looking for ways to get into the game uh, because of some of the challenges that you're facing, right? However, here's what I want you to know. Okay, this year we want to be extremely intentional about how we are building our business. So if you've already been in business, short-term rental business, and you feel like, you know what, I'm really struggling to break even over the last year or so. Okay, so what we're seeing is that the 2021 numbers are not indicative of what 2022, 2023, 2024 is going to generate in terms of revenue or profitability, right? And so how do we put ourselves in the best light and how do we prepare and have a plan B essentially, right? So this is what we're talking about today. So let me know where you are zooming in from. If you are here with me on Zoom, if you're in the Facebook group, some of you who have just joined us, welcome, welcome. There's some people who are still in the waiting room of Facebook. We're going to let you guys in as soon as possible just so that you can join the conversation. But let me know how where you're zooming in from so that we can talk about it. Last week we had a really great conversation over the top 75 cities. I hope that brought some enlightenment uh, to you all. But outside of that, I want to remind you guys, despite all that we're seeing, the ups and downs in real estate, the interest rates are coming down, but all that we're seeing is still consistent with real estate being one of the top investment strategies out there for those who are looking to um, generate generational wealth is where I was going with it. Okay. So that is why you wanted to do real estate in the first place, is because real estate is known for taking people from, a lower net worth. Me personally, my net worth was quite low after graduating from pharmacy school. My husband and I, we had $500,000 in student loan debt. We started with the real estate and it changed the trajectory of our life. It changed our net worth so significantly that we became believers. But at the same time, with the short-term rental strategy, you want to ensure that the business is in alignment with your life and the lifestyle that you want to live going forward. Is it sustainable? These are the questions that you want to ask. You need to understand that it's not just um, a real estate business, but it's also a hospitality business as well. And so that is where I see the disconnect and the struggles, right? So yes, 90% of real estate investors are made through real estate. 90% of millionaires are made through real estate investing because it works. But some people who did not plan it out and they were going over the 2021 numbers, they have struggled dearly. And so this is why we're here. We want to make sure that that is not your story, not anyone who is in our Facebook group or following us on LinkedIn and all the places. We want to ensure that that is not your story. So every single person that I meet or I have taught to invest in real estate, they have been successful because of having a plan B. And I love to have a plan C in some cases, or even plan D, right? Why not have a plan for every letter of the alphabet? I'm not one of those, go big or go home, burn the bridges type of persons, so I love to have backup plans. I love to dip my toe in the water as opposed to jumping in head first, right? Not a vibe for me. Okay. So, a lot of members of our community have really leveraged real estate investing strategy out of state because that is where some of the profitability lies, right? Sometimes it's not investing in your own back door, but outside of investing in short-term rentals out of state, some of them have transitioned to also adding a midterm rental as a pillar part of their investing strategy. Okay. And the reason is that I am not looking for our members to just break even. I don't want them surviving in this real estate game. I want them thriving. Okay. So this is what we're talking about today. We're talking about how well, the importance of really having the five rights. We're going to take it back to pharmacy school, nursing school, medical school, all of the five rights. And we want to dive into the five rights, the five having the right property. Okay. When it comes to the midterm rental strategy, having the right calendar setup or schedule, and that is when it comes to the midterm rental strategy, using the right platforms to market your property for visibility, having the right pricing. Okay, that's four. And number five, having the right messaging so that you can attract those highly lucrative midterm rental guests. All right, so how does that sound? Again, let me know, guys, that you're here in the chat and drop your questions. And for those of you who we haven't yet met yet, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the fold. I am so glad that you're here. And I'm kind of looking around like a chicken with my head cut off because I do have another monitor and I want to ensure that I am saying hello to everyone who is saying hello to me. And hey there, I see you. Awesome. So we're going to dive in just a moment, but I just want to make sure that I am addressing all those who are in the room. Okay. So I'm not seeing that I'm live in the Facebook group. Okay, yes, I am. Okay, hello, hello. Oh, hi, Jennifer. It's so good to see you. Yay, it works. It works. Oh, Jennifer's trying to invite her friend Vivian as well. Well, Jennifer, good on you. And guys, take a page out of Jennifer's book, please. Friends don't let friends miss out. Jennifer says, okay, they're about to start dropping some gems. So let me go ahead and invite my friend Vivian too. Okay, so I love that. Yes, let's get Vivian in here. And guys, if you have a Vivian in your life or a friend who you know would benefit from this conversation, go ahead and invite them to the party. Okay. All right. So, guys, we went over the five, right? So, let's talk about why it's important. Having the right property is always what's going to help you to stand out from the crowd. And what I love about the strategies that we are using, it doesn't require $1 million properties. I call it my luxury mid-term rental strategy, but luxury is not in the actual real estate. It's not the fact that, when you speak with real estate agents, when they talk about luxury real estate, they are all in on the fact that it's $1 million property that they're selling for millions of dollars. Again, what I love about the strategies, these are not $1 million properties, but the revenue that they're generating is that upper tier revenue that would constitute a luxury accommodation. Okay. And that only happens intentionally. You do not earn 500, 600 $1,000, $2,000 a night accidentally. It is intentional. It is by design. Okay. You have to plan for that. You have to prepare for that. But what I love the most about it is that it does not require a ton of planning, does not require a ton of preparation, but it requires intentionality. Okay. All right, so let's take it a step back. When I say midterm rentals, oftentimes our community of short-term rental hosts or landlords, they think, you know what, midterm rentals, Dr. Rachel is talking about travel nurses, right? So how many people who are listening to me tonight or this morning, because we're going to have the replay tonight, when you think midterm rentals, you're like, okay, she's talking travel nurses. Okay, I'm sure a lot of you are thinking travel nurses. However, here's what I would love to inform you is that that's not the case. Midterm rentals are accommodations that are 28, 30-day stays, or, up to, I would say, 3 months or so, that constitute a longer term stay than a short term rental. Your short term rentals are about 1 or 2 nights. Midterm rentals are about 30 nights or so. Long-term rentals are those 1 year leases. Okay. Keep that in mind. So midterm rental stays can vary on a really significant basis. So you have people who are remotely traveling to a location for work as a single individual just coming to train at a location. Say they are a pilot, they're going to pilot training school. Say they are a travel nurse, they're going to help a local hospital, or locum tenens, those of you who are physicians who are doing the locum tenens gig. You're traveling to an area to work. Well, you don't want to stay in a hospital. You don't want to stay in a hotel for 30 days, right? You would prefer to stay in a house where you can cook your meals, kind of have that privacy, live a life away from home that almost feels like home. So those are some of the midterm rental advertisers that are out there, but the ones that we focus on are actually families. We like to focus on multi-generational families who have pets, who may have some special needs, where we have homes that may not be ADA certified, but can accommodate those particular guests. Okay. So what that does is it sets you apart from the crowd. It sets you apart from your colleagues. I don't want to call them competition, but it sets you apart from your colleagues in the hosting space who do not necessarily know how to host these guests. And with the right property, you're able to be the number one option for this type of guest. And the right property has the ability to accommodate a larger family in a great neighborhood with great schools to accommodate these types of guests. We particularly love dealing with the insurance homeowners who are displaced from their homes due to a disaster, due to either a natural disaster or an accidental disaster. That is our primary avatar. Okay, so say for instance, you encounter a water pipe that bursts in your home, and your home has deemed to be uninhabitable. You can't stay in your home anymore because the water pipe burst is so pervasive that's all over the place. You it's not livable, right? As a matter of fact, it's quite dangerous. We're seeing that happen a lot with some of the older homes, and because of that, your homeowner's insurance policy is going to cover you, and that's a protection that's there that you've been paying for years and years. It's going to cover you so that you can stay in another home while your home is being renovated. Okay, so this is our focus. This is the midterm rental strategy that I think everyone needs to be tapping into, because it is not market specific. This happens everywhere. There's no saturation in this strategy. Okay. There's no, I would say, seasonality in this strategy, right? This is happening everywhere. And I will tell you, we've been implementing this since 2018. And to be honest, even during COVID, we hosted this avatar, even during the SAG after strikes, because our community in Georgia is considered the Hollywood of the South. Even then, we were still hosting this avatar, guys. Okay, so there's no seasonality, there's no market fluctuations that has stopped this particular strategy from thriving. So my question to you is, what is a strategy that is an amazing midterm rental strategy that is prevalent in your market? Okay, so our primary midterm rental strategy is the insurance homeowners strategy. The secondary strategy is the film industry. And so that one has its fluctuations, all right? But it is a population that we serve in our market. So for those of you who say you're near a military base, you're near the state capitol, there's a lot of political campaigning going on right now. You can serve midterm rental guests for a number of reasons. Say you're in a very climate friendly place where it's really nice and warm during the winter seasons. Well, you can serve climate migrants, right? Snowbirds. So think about that. What are some midterm rental strategies that you need to be dialed in and tapping into to ensure that your property is booked during, especially during those seasons where you know that you will see a down curve on the seasonality graph, so to speak. Okay. So, all right. So I went all the way around just to give you a little bit of a backstory of this particular strategy. Let's dive into the five rights. The first one is the right property. What is the right property that's going to generate you the highest amount of revenue for this midterm rental avatar? First and foremost, it's knowing who this avatar is. Knowing my avatar not only informs the revenue that I can potentially make, but it actually informs the type of property that I am looking to invest in, whether I'm purchasing a property or I'm leveraging a creative strategy to get into a property. But your avatar is also very important. For instance, my friend Jasper from Get Paid for Your Path, he was a single guy who was globe trotting, just going all over the world, traveling, enjoying life, backpacking for the most part. So for him, he wanted to be in the downtown areas. He wanted to have a view of the skyline. He wanted to be in the high-rise condos, and that was perfect for him. And that's who he serves as well. Single gals, single guys who are looking to rent one of those types of spaces. So that is extremely important. When you have the right property for the right avatar, you're able to walk a mile in their shoes. You're able to determine what is it exactly that they need, and you're able to serve them at the highest possible level. But it also informs the type of property that you are looking to invest in. Okay. Because for me, if you come at me with a one bedroom high rise condo, it's not going to be a good fit, right? It's not going to be a good fit at all. And so, because of that, my ability to quickly look at deals and pass them along to those I know, would more resonate with those particular properties. It's just so much more efficient. My particular avatar are multi-generational, multi-family traveling with children and pets. Okay, so what does that mean? It means I'm my avatar. So I travel with my husband, his spouse, his siblings, their spouses, their children, my siblings, their spouses, their children, grands, the grandma, grandpa, granddad. That is who our avatar is. And so if you count that carefully, if you identify that carefully, how many paying units are there in this particular avatar? It's huge, right? We've got like 6 or 7 W-2 earning, individuals there who are okay with splitting the nightly rate of $700, $800 a night, $1,000 a night, and so on and so forth. So it's so much more affordable for them because if they were staying in a hotel, it's not going to be the same vibe, right? So they love to rent from us because we focus on the right property, and the right property for them are 5 to 8 bedrooms, so larger homes with an outdoor backyard. When the indoors meet the outdoors, you want that feeling of connecting with one another, connecting with nature to go into the backyard as well. That is the space that we curate for this particular avatar. Okay. So the right property matters. And it starts there, it starts with, okay, let me get really focused on the right property to ensure that I'm able to host this avatar who has the opportunity to pay more, essentially. So that's if you're dealing with the consumer. So say you're dealing with the actual insurance company. When you're dealing with the insurance company, and again, it is a larger family, well, they can't um place them in a hotel room, a single hotel room, right? So this larger family may require 3 or 4 hotel rooms to accommodate them properly. And so your property, although it's not going to be the cheapest one on the block, it's going to be the right property for this family, 5 to 8 bedrooms, because you can accommodate more and therefore you get paid more. And that is why we focus on larger homes. Can smaller homes, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, studios, duplexes do well in the strategy? Absolutely. They can do very, very well with the strategy. But are they going to demand the nightly rate that we're able to demand? And we're getting 5 figure payouts per booking. Most likely, no, they will not be able to demand those rates. However, it's still a great opportunity because you're dealing with a corporation, you're dealing with a business whose pockets are quite deep. Okay. So that's the right properties. Let's talk a little bit the second right, the right calendar maintenance or the right schedule. Number two, the right calendar maintenance, the right schedule. So this is really, really important. Okay, and I hope I don't offend anyone, but a lot of you, the reason that you are not getting books or bookings from the platforms, from the insurance company guests, is because your calendar is out of whack. You've got these 2 night bookings peppered all over your calendar. And what that is doing, it's preventing your property to be shown in the best possible light for this strategy. So what do I mean by that? Say, for instance, the scenario that I shared a little bit earlier, where my property is water damage, and then next thing you know, I gotta move out of my house. I've got to go into another property and stay there for 4, 5, 6 months while my property is getting repaired. Say, for instance, that your property is listed as a potential property to be booked by this family. So I go on to, say, a platform like Airbnb to check it out to see whether or not your property will be a good fit. And you know what? When I go in there, unfortunately, you're not showing up at all. Well, why aren't you showing up? Well, what I did was I looked for a length of stay of 30 days. So I look for, today is January the 30th. So I'll go ahead and I say I'm looking for something starting on January the 31st to, say, March the 31st, 2 months. Well, if you have 2 night bookings peppered all over your calendar, you're not going to be an option for me to book your property. And so that's what one of the biggest disconnects that I'm seeing when I hear members in our community say, Dr. Rachel, why is no one booking my property? Well, it's because your calendar is out of alignment. Your calendar has 2 night bookings peppered all over, and therefore no one's able to book your property. So that is one of the biggest roadblocks and stumbling blocks that I'm seeing, but it is something that can be managed and something that needs to be maintained. So it's really important. And so one of the ways that we have overcome that is by creating a midterm rental friendly calendar that is available for our guests. And so we won't go into all of the logistics right here, right now, but I just wanted to give the heads up there. Okay. All right, so it looks like there are a few people trying to jump into the Facebook group. So Nicia, if you're still here and you're hearing me, if you could let them in the member request, I think Tori can potentially help with that. That would be great. All right, so the right schedule. Hopefully you guys are picking up what I am putting down. Yes. Oh, Jennifer, you're next to Pinewood. We need to do coffee, lady. I am here. I live in PTC. I'm in the bubble. So are you down here down south as well? I live in the bubble, so we are not too far from each other, my friend. All right, my friends. All right, so number three, the right platforms. Okay, really, really important. You want to list on the right platforms because there are a few there are a few different platforms. Well, actually, before we dive into the platforms, I keep going back to the avatar, guys, because you know what? The avatar is one of the highest leveraged, I would call it the highest. Okay, hang on. Okay, the avatars are one of the highest leveraged I would say attributes of your business that's going to be really, really important. That's with any business, right? When you understand who your clientele is, it changes the game because not everyone's speaking to your clientele the way that they need to be spoken to. Okay. All right. So let's go back into the avatars. When it comes to the insurance policy holder, the insurance midterm rentals, you have a few avatars. You're dealing with the public, the individual who actually is displaced. You're dealing with the insurance company representatives as well. So those are two separate avatars. Uh, these avatars are not looking at the same platforms in order to book the property with you, in order to reach out to you. Okay. So there are a variety of platforms that are out there that are customer facing, that are public friendly. The family, they know to look on these platforms to find temporary housing, but the insurance are sure as heck not going to be looking on those platforms. So it's going to be really important, and it behooves you to ensure that you are, in fact, you're listing your property on the right platforms, you're getting the right connections, and you are ensuring that the visibility that way. Okay, so that's the right platforms. I'm gonna share just a couple of them because for me, it's really important to not only get my return on investment when it comes to the real estate that we're investing in, but I'm really big on also getting my return on energy. So I'm not going to cold call, guys. I apologize if you're a cold calling expert and if that's what you're looking for. Have at it, Haas. We have members of our community who love that, who do that as well, but I'm not cold calling. That's not a vibe for me. So listing on the right platform is oh so very important. When it comes to temporary housing or short-term rental, mid-term rental housing, the Google of short-term rental housing is known as Airbnb. Like it or not, Airbnb is the Google of short-term and mid-term rental housing. And that is the reason why it's important for you to set up your property on that platform in a way that speaks with the customer, speaks with the homeowner that is displaced from their home, speaks with the caregiver that is helping out to move the family from this home that is essentially destroyed and it's not livable into your space that is a home away from home, a solace, a respite, a place where they get to, rejuvenate as their property is getting repaired. Okay. So Airbnb, like it or not, is the number one platform to list. However, when it comes to dealing with the insurance companies, most of them are not looking on Airbnb. Not at all. So they have internal platforms that they're looking at. Additionally, they're looking on platforms for some properties, not all, but for some properties, they are looking on corporate housing by owner. For some properties, they're looking on Furnish Finder. Okay, so those are two platforms that they're using, and they also have their internal intranet. So we've built our database, our Rolodex of professionals that we work with. So we reach out to them via email whenever we have an opportunity or an opening. We'll just send out an email, let them know, hey, we have an opening coming up. Let us know if you need someone housed, and we're able to communicate with them via email. That is the importance of reconnecting. Like once you've had that relationship, once they've reached out once, you know what? You want to make sure that you follow up, follow up, follow up, because it only takes 2 or 3 bookings throughout the year, and you can maintain a 100% occupancy because these bookings are pretty long in length. Okay. All right. So far we've covered the right property, right calendar maintenance, right platform. Next, we have 2 more rights, okay? Right pricing and right messaging. All right, let's talk about right pricing. Who here is ready for us to talk about the pricing? Because you know what? I'm like, show me the money. Yes, please. Show me the money, right? So right prices, let's talk about it. When it comes to I would say really maximizing the strategy, having the right pricing is everything. Okay. When we're dealing with the insurance policyholders and their representatives, the representative of the insurance company, it behooves you to make sure that you're getting the best bang for your buck. Because here's the deal. The homeowners insurance is an industry whose pockets are quite deep. Okay. At the end of 2021, they saw an extra $1.03 trillion at the end of the year. That's after they paid all their claims. That's after they paid all of their employees. That's after they paid all of their overhead. They saw a $1.03 trillion in surplus. And how many of you right now are living in Florida, Texas, these states that continue to increase the homeowners insurance premium year after year, right? So keep that in mind. So they're bringing in money, but we are seeing a lot of natural disasters anomaly where that is some of it is being used up, but not everyone is using their insurance policy or their insurance coverage limits, right? So it's very important for you to understand that their pockets are quite deep, like it or not. Their pockets are quite deep. And if they're listening to me right now, do not come for me. I just want you all to get on this. I want you to peep game before before it's too late, right? Now is the time. Now is the time, my friends. Okay. So, for those of you who are here, come back to me if you're multitasking. Welcome, welcome. I really want this to sink in because this is what's going to inform you if you're going to have a profitable year or a meh type of year. Okay. I see what the peanut gallery is saying out there. A lot of landlords, when they see these inquiries coming in from the insurance companies, they're like, number one, they think it's a scam. So they're not even willing to entertain it because it's a shorter term lease. They're like, yeah, we'll rent your property for a month. But if you know anything at all about renovations and the time it takes to renovate a property, 1 month is not even nearly enough, right? Our shortest length of stay is 4 months. It can be anywhere from 6 months, 8 months, 12 months. I've hosted someone for 13 months. If it's fire damage, it's going to take a minute, right? To repair that. So it does take time. However, what I'm seeing out there on the interwebs is whenever the insurance reaches out to homeowners, they're thinking to themselves, okay, oh, I'll charge an extra $500 a month. That's what the landlords are saying. And that's the advice that I'm seeing over and over again. And it's recurring advice. And I'm like, I'm here to put a stop on it. On it because I know what they're able to cover and I know what is allowable inside of the potential guests premium. I know what their coverage limits are. And part of that is why I'm advocating for you to put yourself in a position where you are winning. They're winning. I want you to win too. Okay. Because here's the deal. When the homeowners insurance representative, they reach out to you, it is their job to lowball you, right? That's their fiduciary. They have a responsibility to make a profit for that company. Well, guess what? It's your job to advocate on your behalf, right? Do not let them come at you and lowball you because at the end of the day, you're providing a property, you're providing a service, you're providing care, you're providing a place of rest and respite for these families to heal as their property is being renovated. So do not let them lowball you. Do not allow them to just give you any price and you agree on it because at the end of the day, it's going to be you like in a 3 month, 4 month, because they're going to extend 4 month, 13-month contract, wondering, you know what, at the end of this, am I going to be making any money because I allowed them to dictate my pricing? That's a hard no. So the right pricing entails you setting up your property in a way that you can demand the highest possible opportunity for your property. And I mentioned a little bit earlier, the right property, it doesn't have to be an ultra luxury class A property. We have turned class B properties into these 800, $900,000 per night bookings with the insurance company. Class B properties, right? So keep that in mind. And it's in the negotiation as well. So pricing is key. Pricing matters because at the end of the day, when they're extending beyond the period that you're expecting, they're extending into your peak season, you want to make sure that that is covered as well. They're longer term guests also. Okay. So you want to ensure that any of the eventualities that can occur, there's going to be some wear and tear. You want to make sure you're collecting a refundable and non-refundable deposit to cover those expenditures as well. Okay. And lastly, as it relates to pricing, if you allow them to dictate your pricing, you look like an amateur, honestly. And this is not to offend anyone. I'm saying this because I did it myself. I look like amateur hour. I let them like, okay, you can, sure, we'll do that. No, you want to make sure that you understand what your property is worth, what the value is that you're offering in the marketplace from quarter to quarter, what those changes are, so that you can demand and dictate what you know that your property is worth, and do not allow them to dictate to you what they think your property is worth. Okay. There is room for negotiations because I am going to take down the deals. Like, yeah, no, we're going to do everything we can to make this work, but not at these numbers. We're gonna, so there is definitely a delivery, a hospitable way to address the need and to address the desire to bring this family into your space. Because honestly, the midterm rental insurance guests are some of my absolute favorite guests to serve. They're just so grateful. They're not fussy at all. They're my absolute favorite. Okay. So keep that in mind as well. All right. So that is right pricing, guys. Feel free to continue to drop your questions in the chat. I cannot wait to address each and every one of them. I may be able to address them live at the end. That is my goal, to make sure that I'm addressing them live. Hey, Shauna, I see you, girl. But also, if not, if you are watching the replay, just give me a hashtag replay and I'm going to jump in and I will be sure to address them at a later date after you have watched the replay as well. Okay. All right. So the last thing, last but not least, is messaging, the right messaging, the right messaging, guys. The right messaging is key to attract these midterm rental guests. Okay. So part of optimizing your property is making sure that when a guest is looking at your listing, they're like, she's talking to me. Aha, she's talking to me. And we have been doing this ever since with our short-term rentals. We want to ensure that the guests that you're looking to attract, you're talking to them specifically. And how do you convey that? There's a number of ways that you can convey that, and that you're targeting a particular guest. Number one is with the listing in general, right? When you've created that listing, say it is on Airbnb or Verba or one of those platforms, OTA platforms, online travel agency platforms, you have the listing set up in a way that the photos are conveying that this is ideal for a midterm rental stay. And there are a few things that we do in order to reflect that, one of which is ensuring that the photos are highlighting midterm rental friendly types of attributes of the property. So we have a split screen. Let's say we had a split screen of our short-term rental listing and our midterm rental listing. Same property, but one is a short-term rental and one is a midterm rental. The short-term rental is primarily going to focus on all of the fun, the razzmatazz, the pizzazz of the property. However, say it's the same property, the midterm rental is going to focus on what are some of those longer-term stay attributes of the property. Where are all the beds? Right? You want to really highlight, okay, here are what all the beds are looking like. What is it looking like in terms of the kitchen cooking tools? Right? So we're going to have really nice stage kitchen cabinets, ensure that you can see all of the. So think about, what is this avatar looking to do? They're looking to stay in a space that is a home away from home as their home is getting repaired, that is nearby their home so that they can hop and skip, go over to the property to make sure that the contractors are doing what they need to do to make sure that that property is getting repaired appropriately. So how do they accomplish that? Well, you want to create a home away from home for them. So your property is going to be lived in, so to speak, in terms of they're going to be cooking. They're not there to be a tourist. They're not looking for the touristic things that are in that market, so to speak. They're looking to actually live in that property. So there are two, I know it sounds conflicting because when it comes to short-term rental guests, they're looking to understand, wow, how is it to live in this particular location? They want to live authentically and learn about, the culture or whatever's happening in that current location. But the midterm rental guests, they already live there. So they're actually looking for a home base that is a home away from home as they're building back up their actual property. Again, I absolutely love this midterm rental guest. And so all of the messaging that you have the opportunity to convey to this guest has to pinpoint that. Okay. You want to share with them, well, here are the local landmarks that they should very well be aware of. And then it will jog their memory and get the wheels turned. Oh, yeah, this is right next to such and such, or this is right next to this school or this shopping place that I go to, or my groceries, or this trail, or this path. You want to ensure that you're giving them popular landmarks that they could jog their memory and they understand, oh, yeah, this is so local. This is going to be the right place for me. Another missed opportunity that I see is even with the listing photos, adding captions that convey all of the midterm rental friendly activities that they can partake in. So, for instance, if you have a king size bed, if you have a backyard where they can barbecue, whatever it is that can make their stay a little bit more peaceful, a little bit more homey, so to speak. Is that a word, homey or homely? I don't know. But either way, you want to ensure that they know that this is their home away from home. You want to ensure that they know that this is a month to month rental. This is all of their utilities are included, all of that. It's such a different listing. It should look radically different from a short-term rental listing, right? Short-term rentals don't want to know about utilities. They don't want to know about month to month. They don't want to know about anything. No, we for midterm rentals, we speak to it. We call out whether your home is being repaired due to a recent renovation or a disaster or whatever it is. We're here as your home away from home. So we speak to that. In our guest reviews, a huge missed opportunity is when we leave public guest reviews. Okay. When we leave public guest reviews, it's really important to highlight for that future guest, well, who it is that you're calling out. So, say Meredith left me a review and said, oh my gosh, I really loved the outdoor cornhole putt-putt area. And so I have the opportunity to leave a review, a response to that review that Meredith just left, right? And so I will say, hey, Meredith, thank you so much for the amazing guest review. I'm so glad you enjoyed the cornhole putt-putt area. And from there, guys, from there, this is where I see a missed opportunity. From there is your chance to let them know. We also love hosting individuals who are looking for 30-day stays, who are looking for month-to-month stays due to, home renovation or while their home is being um, worked on, or you know what I mean? So make sure that you're leveraging every single opportunity that you can to address the need of that guy. It's almost like hypnotic, marketing, right? Every single opportunity that you can, you want to make sure that you're addressing it. And I guarantee you, you're probably one of the only ones in your market that is speaking to them so directly, so clearly that they will be able to advocate on their behalf. Okay. All right, guys. So those are the 5 rights. So in review, again, we talked about the right property, the right schedule or calendar, the right platforms, the right pricing, and the right messaging. And I would love to invite you. We're going to do a demo and share this a little bit more on our upcoming training. So we have a training coming up at the end of the week that I'm super, super excited about. For those of you who have not had the opportunity to grab your ticket to STR CPR, guys, it is on and popping. STR CPR, if you go to strcpr.com, and I'll drop the link in the chat. And if I see you could drop the link everywhere. It's only 97 bucks, guys. Oh my gosh, right? To really breathe life back into your short-term rental strategy. And one of the biggest ways that we are breathing life back, it is by implementing and having in your back pocket a midterm rental strategy. But outside of that, my dear friends at STR CPR, I am bringing in some of my dearest friends to share with you how they're breathing life into their short-term rental strategy. So I am featuring Lame Kinikini, who is a creative finance expert. So he was able to leverage creative finance strategy to grow his portfolio in, I want to say, over the last year to some astronomical number. The point to me is how he's using short-term rental, midterm rental to run those numbers and to take a look at those opportunities. So I would love for you to join to take a look at that strategy as well. I have Annette, who's all things operations. Absolutely love her. She is a part of this Facebook group too. She is an operations expert. The reason has such a great expertise in ops is because all of her properties are located in states outside of where she resides. And she runs a really well oiled, tight ship. And I love that. She's going to be sharing her tips and tricks and strategies there. We have Tim Spiker, my personal revenue manager consultant. He's going to show you pricing, how to price to make sure that you're squeezing as much juice out of your property as possible. He does not like seeing an empty calendar, so he uses a variety of pricing strategies and tips and tricks that he's going to be sharing and dropping those gems. We have Kyle Stanley. Kyle was able to make over $2 million using a co-host strategy. So he leveraged a strategy where he didn't even own the properties in order to essentially partner with other homeowners. He doesn't do that right now live, but he's going to be sharing the framework because I think, oh, you know what? Let me not say, I think I should have signed the NDA before I started sharing with others the changes that he's recently made to his business, but I'm super, super excited for him. Let's just say a very abundant exit is headed his way, which I'm super excited about for him. And anyway, my amazing co-host, Ruben Kanya, as well. It's going to be podcast style, guys. It's live. Whether you're able to make it or not is a-okay. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can share screens to show you all um, the beautiful uh, speakers that we will be featuring. Sponsored by Relay. Relay is one of the banks that we love to use because I got to tell you, using the Mike McCallow's Profit First game changer for me, but we'll talk about that some other time. But nevertheless, sponsored by Relay, STR CPR. It is this Friday, guys, at 4 p.m. Eastern. 97 bucks. That's it. Replays are available. So if you can't make it live, grab your ticket so that you can access the replays. Okay. So I will be sharing how to breathe life into MTRs. Annette, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, operations. Tim, my revenue management expert. Lame Kinikini, he is talking all things creative finance. And Kyle, who is an expert in co-hosting. I cannot wait. So let me know if you have any questions about that as well. And now we're going to shift gears. I still have a few minutes, about 5 or 10 minutes left for some Q&A. So let's do it. Let me know what questions you all have. I'm trying to pull up the chat to see. Okay, boom. Here are the questions. Yay. All right. How do you, oh, that's a great. So Girl Friday on YouTube is asking, how do you interchange from STR to MTR? I absolutely love that question. So that is part of the strategy that we were talking about a little bit earlier when it comes to having the right calendar maintenance, right? Having the right calendar maintenance is key because if you do not have a strategy to leverage STR and MTR in the markets where you have a hybrid, that's going to be problematic. One of the major pillars that we have implemented that allows us to really focus on MTR and use STR as a secondary strategy is a a stay restriction pillar. Okay. So what does that mean? That means, for example, if you're staying in my property as a MTR STR right now, and today's your checkout, you're checking out today, you just checked out at 11 a.m., right? Well, if you go online to look at my calendar, say it's wide open for the next year, if you go online to look at my calendar, you can go ahead and book a 1 or 2 night, not one night, we don't do really one night, but you can book a 2 night stay today. You can book a 2 night stay tomorrow. Like for the next 5 days or so, you can book those shorter length of stays. However, beyond that, you got to book a longer length of stay. So we have implemented something in our calendar called the stay restrictions that has allowed us to just not allow those 2 night stays to pepper all over the calendar, but they can occur within a really tight period of time. Okay. So that is one of our biggest calendar methods that we use to ensure that we're continuing to um, to be able to host the midterm rental insurance guests. One thing I will warn you is this: the insurance midterm rental guests, since unfortunately it is that like I would call it a high pressure environment, they will reach out to you and say, "Oh my gosh, we need the property right now today." That's not the truth. I'll tell them, "Yeah, sure, you can have it today," but they usually check in. Usually, okay, I have one student who actually she knocked it out the park, but they usually will check in 7 to 10 days after they say they need it today because it takes a while for all the paperwork to go. But Miss Lakita, Miss Lakita, oh my gosh, if you're listening, I'm super proud of her. She was able to get them checked in like in 3 days, which is good on her. But remember, they're going to be with you for 6 months, 8 months. So it is not it feels, like a lot of drama getting them in as quickly as possible, but it is not the reality of it. They typically have that hurry up and wait type of energy. Okay. So Nicia, I got that question from you. So thank you for popping that in there for me. Let's see who else. All right. Actually, I think we're pretty much caught up. Yay. Okay. So the link is there. So thank you, Girl Friday, for chiming in. So, guys, if you are here still, please feel free to drop your questions. I will circle back a little bit later on today to answer the questions as soon as I can. I have a few things going on. Otherwise, I will see you Friday. Hopefully, I will see you Friday. It is going to be amazing. STR CPR, where we are talking about how to breathe life back into your short-term rental business. And let's see, I'm going to look at my notes one more time just to make sure that I didn't miss anything else. I knew there were two things on my notes. Let's see. Okay. That's got that. Okay, that's it, guys. So cannot wait to see you. Love you all to the moon and back. And we will see you tonight if you're watching the replay. And in a couple of weeks, next week, we're heading to the STR Wealth Conference in Nashville. But we will be sure to stay connected. All right. Love you all to the moon. And I will see you next time.